listen, there are more ways to get a job than simply applying for online applications. Maybe you know this already, but just in case you don't, applying for internet jobs is actually one of the worst methods to get a job. Okay, now, if any of this sounds fishy to you, like I always say, don't take my word for it. Go out and research this stuff, and you'll see for yourself. Most people do not get hired by applying for internet jobs and sending in applications. Okay, the most common way of getting a job is through some form of networking. Once again, don't take my word for this if this is new. Okay, go and do your own research on. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. If you ask, employees across the board, every industry, every country, how did you get hired for this job that you're in now? The most common answer is going to be some form of networking. I knew it was an ex-coworker that I knew that ended up coming here, and I reached out to them, and they were able to assist me in getting this position. They didn't get me hired, but they put in a good word for me and made them consider me, that kind of thing. Okay. Or a lot of people, they reach out to companies that are likely to employ someone like them. Okay. That's also a thing. The beauty about, living right now in the internet age is that you can do all of this online. You don't have to talk to anyone on the phone or anything like that. So if you're more of an introverted type, that kind of stuff is, you're fearful of, calling people on the phone or whatever. You don't have to do any of that. So look into that stuff, okay? Because especially now with the rise of a lot of ghost jobs, getting hired with posted internet jobs is an even worse option. It's even less likely to work out in the short term, okay? Doesn't mean it doesn't work. It still does work, but you see, what you're seeing out there, first of all those jobs that you see posted, those are about 20% of all the jobs that are actually out there. The other 80% of jobs are hidden. That means they're not posted publicly. They exist, and you could get them, but you will not find them listed on a job board like Indeed. The reason why they're not listed is because they don't need to list them. They are highly desirable jobs. The moment a boss mentions it even to their team of employees, the next day, the team of employees starts coming to talk to the boss one-on-one to say, hey, I've got a brother or a cousin or a friend that would be a good candidate for that job, right? So being presented with that kind of reaction, why would the boss then spend a ton of money and time to also try and get 1,000 strangers to apply for the job, right? When you've got personal recommendations from people that they know and trust and work with every day, this person would be good. You should check them out. I'll tell them to apply. Can we set up a meeting? That kind of thing, right? You don't need to advertise those jobs, right? They're not having trouble finding people to fill them. So, like the exceptions are things like government, but the vast majority of jobs are not in government. Okay, so that's a reality. Now, once again, I'm not encouraging you to take my word for any of this. Go and look this up. Learn about it. Learn how you access those jobs. So the idea is that if you reach out to companies and things and say, hey, I'm fully qualified in this, I'd love to work for you guys. If ever you're looking, let me know. I'd love to work for you. Now, playing the law of averages, most people right now are not looking, but some of them are. And if you do this, you could easily do that to 100 people a day. Just like you can apply for like 100 jobs in a day, not a problem. You could send that message, that template message to 100 people in a day, right? And 5 of them will be looking for someone like you right now, right? So like it's things like this. That's how you access those other jobs, okay? There are other ways of getting jobs besides that, a lot of other ways. So don't just limit your job search campaign to doing this one activity, okay? There are a lot of other ways to get hired. Check out some of the others, learn what they are, and pursue those. Get your information from a variety of sources, and make sure that it's not just from people that have a conflict of interest like recruiters. It's hard for a recruiter to say, don't go through a recruiter to get a job. You know what I mean? Certainly they are there to help, and some of them are good. But just keep that in mind. You can get hired without going through a recruiter. I'm sure you might know examples of family members that might have gotten hired without like applying formally for a job, and they talked to the boss and the boss hired them. So pursue all that stuff, okay? Don't just do the same thing. If it's already been a year and it's not going anywhere fast, there's a lot of other things out there. Pursue those and do them in parallel with what you're already doing, and you increase your chances.